welcome, kings and queens. Today we are talking the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Yep, I brought you something new and different, didn't I? I've always been a fan of the Housewives franchise, so I decided to slowly introduce my audience to some of the shows that I enjoy, you guys. And listen, the girls came hot. They came in hot today. I feel like the season premiere got off to a dynamic start, and I am so ready for this season. I think the girls are going to bring it. And from what I can see from the premiere kickoff episode, they are not holding back, honey. And that's what I love about the Housewives. You get what you get when you get in a moment, okay? These girls have been doing this for quite some time. They are veterans and they understand what makes good TV. So, Love and Marriage Huntsville, the other cast members outside of Melody Cherie, please take notes. But anywho, there's so many changes that they've added this season. It seems as if people have evolved in their personal dynamics as well as their personal relationships. But before I jump in, for those of you who are just tuning in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. All right, so are y'all ready? If you're ready, honey, I'm ready. So buckle up, sit back, because we are going to talk Real Housewives of New Jersey. But before I do, let me say something. Bravo, Andy Cohen, producers, y'all. We are in 2023. Can we please move away from the one token insert? Okay. Listen, y'all tend to do this a lot, whether it's Real Housewives of New Jersey. You start off on the Beverly Hills franchise with Garcelle, and also the one, y'all, the one where they're sailing on the boat. Stop giving us just one Black person. Come on now. You did it on Vanderpump Rules. We've got to evolve, Bravo. You've got to evolve. You've got to get up to par, and you've got to diversify your cast. And if you don't want to do it, I'd rather you not add any person of color than to try to just put one, because that's a dangerous position for a person of color to be in. Okay. You make them an easy target to be alienated, isolated, picked on, all of that good stuff. Stop it. We need you to evolve, Bravo. But without further ado, let's jump in. So let me see. Who do I want to start with? Let's start with Dolores. One thing I like about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, there aren't many plus ones. And what I mean by that, there are no lowly single women hanging around hoping for TV time as we see on some of the other networks and some of the other shows. You know, when we talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, when we talk about Being Married to Medicine or Basketball Wives, it's like, where's the wives? Where's the love? Because, yeah, so I like the fact that with the New Jersey cast, you don't really see these lowly single women hanging around hoping that they will be able to come up off of their friend's coattail. And each of these women are married with the exception of one, who happens to be Dolores. And Dolores has a new man, y'all. Yes, indeed. You remember she was dating that doctor who would not commit, but it took her quite some time to read the writing on the wall. But when she did, she ended the relationship and she has since moved on. Speaking of Dolores, way to go, Dolores. I am so glad that you have moved from underneath the umbrella of Frank, because I was starting to wonder about this unique, quote unquote, dynamic between the two of you. And I get the family over everything rhetoric, but girl, most men would not want to get involved with a woman who still lives with her ex-husband. And I don't care how you slice it and dice it and cut it and present it. Get somebody else to do it. So Dolores showed off her new man, y'all. She sure did. And he's kind of beefy, meaty, thick bone Italian man, tatted up, all that good stuff. I think he had an earring on and all that. Strong man too. But check this out. Dolores, I noticed that he and Frank are similar in stature. I think you got a type. And that man came in, y'all, and he laid down the law. Okay. He put some boundaries in place regarding Dolores and Frank's dynamic, as he should. Okay. I don't blame that man. I do not blame him one bit, Because in order for me to have a healthy relationship with you, I'm going to need you to unlatch from your ex-husband, get him to move the hell out if you expect me to come over. We are not all about to be kumbaya, eating dinner, spaghetti and meatballs together like you, him, and the doctor did. No, ma'am. A healthy man ain't trying to do all that. So, anywho, because you know what? Now that I think about it, Dolores, I think your ex boyfriend, the doctor, did that. That was a crutch for him. And he relied on that in order to not deeply connect with you. But so this new man, he seems like he's about you, girl. The fact that he asked you to get rid of that distraction so that the two of you can get to know each other and get a little bit closer, I can appreciate it. I think it's a fair ask. What y'all think? If you've been following the series, what are your thoughts on that? Does a man have a right to come into a relationship who's serious about you and you and your ex-husband, whatever kind of relationship they have, co-parenting, and y'all live with each other? Allegedly, you're not sexual. You have no romantic interest in each other. And this new man walks into the picture and is like, hey, wait a minute. This is a bit off-putting for me. Do you mind if your ex-husband gets his own place, girl? Would y'all be okay with that? Now, if the shoe were on the other foot, could a woman do the same? Who was dating a man that lived with his ex-wife and they had a great co-parenting relationship, or would she be a jealous BI? You get what I'm saying? I think it's fair for anybody to come in if y'all have serious intentions about moving forward and the goal is marriage, to be able to set parameters and ask for what they need to establish a decent and a healthy relationship. But that's just me. I'm open to different perspectives. But don't nobody want to be best friends with your ex-husband while they're trying to get to know you. Okay? And it sounds like there is a strong possibility, y'all, that Dolores could be headed down the altar in the near future with this guy. Kudos to you on that, Dolores. Do not let Frank mess up your good opportunity. Okay? Even if Frank is bent on meeting your man, you move when you're ready to move, because they opened up this episode with Frank saying, how come I can't meet him? How come I can't get to... Number one, because Dolores is not your daughter. That's how come you can't meet him. Dolores is your ex-wife. And if she said you can't meet my man right now, then guess what, sir? You're going to have to sit out on the sideline until I bring him into the picture. You don't get to determine the speed of this relationship. All right? So I like how Dolores held fast to what she wanted to do. And before I shift to the next topic, let me say this. I think they're trying to create a dynamic. I think they're trying to shift the dynamics to do a power play against Teresa. Not necessarily Dolores, I'm not sure, but definitely some of the other women. And I started to peep that last season. I'm going to call it out. Margaret. What's her name? Melissa. Jackie. Dolores kind of straddles the fence, but those are the top three that I named: Margaret, Melissa, and Jackie. Teresa, beware. Okay? Teresa has been in control for a number of years, even while away at prison, honey. Okay? From a reality perspective, she is the queen of the throne regarding this show. And I think the girls have a plan, Teresa. I think they have a plan. I think they're going to surround your castle. And I think they're going to try what is it called? They're going to try to impeach you, honey. So here are my thoughts, Teresa. If you're listening, I need you to come fighting hard this season. You always do, but I need you to fight for your throne this year. Okay, I want to talk Melissa and Joe Gorga. Get somebody else to do it. I'm tired of watching them. And I'm sorry if you are a fan of Melissa and Joe Gorga. I am tired of watching them. It is like watching paint dry. Your ship has sailed. I feel like they can go anytime now. I'm so over Melissa Gorga. And here's why. Melissa, you have been riding off the coattails of your sister-in-law for a number of years now. Both you and your husband have managed to capitalize by making your sister-in-law your storyline as long as I've known you to be on this show. Your entire check, your direct deposit revolves around Teresa. I don't blame Teresa for not wanting anything to do with you. I think it's very strategic on her part to set herself apart, to make you work for your queen. Because for so many years, and I'm not saying Teresa's always right. That's not the angle I'm coming from. But I need Melissa and Joe Gorga to step up or step out. It's just not giving what it should have given many years ago. Um, I think Teresa realizes it is what it is. I think she's called a thing, and she sees it exactly for what it is. Melissa, you appear to be an opportunist. And to me, it's like you want to be the star, and I get it. There's a fight for the crown. I completely get it. But here's the thing about stardom. You got to be able to get it off of your own hard work, Melissa. You cannot keep riding the same wave regarding the family. We're family. You're my sister. We're supposed to be sisters. Accept me as your sister-in-law. Girl, you got 3 grown sisters. I think you'll be okay if you and Teresa decide that you're better off. You're better off from a distance. You cannot keep bringing us this year after year after year. Okay? You're on full display, as your song says, on display, on display, on display, each and every day, every day. What are you going to do with it? You felt it. You had your little boutique, but you on display. Take the ball and run with it, Melissa. So far, you have fumbled the ball from my perspective. Okay. I don't know. I just I feel like Melissa has failed to position herself for the crown. Margaret and Jennifer are actually, in my opinion, if we think about a hierarchy, right? You got Teresa. So who would be next? It would come down to Margaret and Jennifer. Probably Margaret before Jennifer, and that's not because I like Margaret. Margaret actually gets on my last nerves. But if we're looking at this thing from a performance perspective, Margaret and Jennifer have brought it every season. Okay? They've really put in the work. And they're actually outperforming Melissa, to be honest. And in a minute, I'll be saying the same thing about Margaret. Margaret, because you are going to have to bring us a little bit more than that messiness. Messy Margaret. Your storyline cannot be about digging up dirt on the other women, right? To keep your check coming in. So Melissa and Joe, I really feel like I would miss you at all if Andy gave you your walking papers. Your sister-in-law has been your storyline for years. Now I realize that Andy Cohen really likes Joe Gorga. But Andy, from an entertainment perspective, Joe Gorga doesn't really offer anything. And I think he's a bully. He tried to bully his little niece, Gia. He tried to bully Jennifer's husband, Bill, last year. And it looks like he's going to go in for the kill on Louis. Now, here's what I need you to do, Louis, if you're listening. Louis, if Joe Gorga puts his hands on you, I need you to show him what you are working with. Okay? Because he's not above trying to intimidate people by banging on tables and yelling and waving his fist. I need you to show him what you're working with, Louis. Please don't disappoint me. Okay? Now, Joe Gorga, you had your opportunity when you went after Joe Giudice, and he put you on the floor. He sure did. I remember. I'm not really feeling Melissa. I'm just not feeling that conquer and divide strategy that she has between going after Teresa and her brother. And I know Teresa contributes by creating enough crazy in the saga. But Melissa, as a doting, healthy wife, stay out of it. Try not to place your husband between the middle and you and Teresa's mess. And you often bring him directly in the middle, which essentially forces him to choose. And he's always going to choose you. So I think that's the thing that Melissa should keep in mind as she moves forward in this season. Stop being so messy, girl. All right, honey, let's shift to the stars of the show. Really, the star, the queen of the show. I got the stuff that you want. I got the thing that you need. I got more than enough to make you drop to your knees. Cause I'm the queen of the night. The queen of the night. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we talking Teresa. Listen, Teresa has earned her spot, period. Love her, hate her. She has earned her spot as the queen of the night. And I'm not always Team Teresa, but I got to give credit where credit is due. So they start this episode. Well, within this episode, Teresa and Louis are preparing for their union, and they have this huge family dinner in honor of Teresa's 50th birthday. They all exchange gifts as a blended family. It was really nice to see. Teresa made a comment at the dinner that I now have new sisters. I lost a sister, but now I gained sisters by way of Louis' sisters. Louis' sisters, and Louis is her fiance. Now, Teresa, I'm going to need you to pump your brakes. You don't know them women. You've only known Louis, 2.5 years. So you made the same mistake with Melissa, thinking that she would be a good sister-in-law. Those are your sister-in-laws, okay? That's how you got in trouble the last time with Melissa. So keep in mind, Teresa, they are your sister-in-laws. I don't think they've earned their spot to sisterhood yet. Just keep that in mind. All right. I don't want you to get your little feelings hurt. Should you and Louis have a argument and they choose him, you're going to be real disappointed. All right. So what I do think about Teresa and Louis what do I think about Teresa and Louis as a couple? What do I think? I don't. I don't. I think they're both at an age where they don't want to be alone and they found companionship within each other. I think both of them brought a bit of a coin to the table and they decided to get married. Do I sense or have I picked up that they have this incredible dynamic and they're deeply in love and passionate? Not necessarily. No, I haven't picked that up neither. But hey, it is what it is. And if they're happy, then I love it. If they're happy, I love it. So let's move on because Teresa and Louis actually invites Messy Margaret, y'all. There are times I look at Messy Margaret and she is striking as an older woman until she opens her mouth and starts being all messy. There are times she just looks so nice and I'm like, girl, you look good for your age. I love how you come through looking like royalty until she starts that messy stuff. But anywho, they invite her over because Teresa wants to talk about the friendship breakdown. Okay. Margaret actually has started off this season just like she left last season, being messy. She's coming in as a victim, not taking any accountability on her part and what she contributed, what she did contribute to the breakdown of the friendship. Okay. Now don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily see myself as being a hardcore fan of Teresa's, but right is right, wrong is wrong. I often shift between the ladies based on how they handle different situations, right? Margaret, you are not innocent. You stir the pot quite a bit. But as I said before, I think that Margaret, what's that lady's name? Jackie and Melissa are trying to shift the dynamics and dethrone Teresa. So Margaret accepts the invitation to come to lunch. She and Teresa, before they talk, let me tell you what happened. So before Margaret get there, it's funny because both Margaret and Teresa are coming with the expectation that the other one is going to apologize. Good luck with that. But when Margaret got there and they actually started to talk, Teresa apologized. She actually issued an apology. And I was shocked. Teresa told her, I'm sorry. And she explained to her exactly why she felt the way she felt. And here's the thing. I'm going to ride with Teresa on this. I'm going to stand 10 toes down with Teresa, because don't say nothing bad about my man and expect me to be your friend. Don't talk about my family. Don't talk about my pets. Don't talk about my man, my children, and expect me not to have a clap back for you. So basically, Teresa told her, girl, I don't care what your concern was. Keep my man's name out your mouth. And Margaret tried to play the game of, well, if it bothered you, it was your responsibility to tell me that you were wounded or you were hurt. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Miss Margaret. Okay. That's an excuse. If you are a good friend, you don't need to be running your mouth about me, period. And then Teresa turned around and made another valid point. She said, not only that, when my sister-in-law read a private text that I sent to her last season, girl, you were still talking about me. Okay. So here's the thing, Margaret. You are responsible for what comes out of your mouth. And I need you to own that without being a victim and without shifting the responsibility to Teresa. I feel like Teresa's ask of Margaret was very fair. Hey, if we're going to be friends and if we're going to move forward, my man is off limits. I thought they reached a point, y'all, where I'm like, okay, this is good. But then the next scene, messy Margaret goes back to share with Melissa and Joe Gorga what she and Teresa talked about. And not only that, you misrepresented the conversation in a way. You only gave them bits and pieces of it and not the full context. So now she's created some tension, but yet again, between Teresa, her brother, and her sister-in-law. All right, so we're going to shift a little bit to Dolores and Jennifer, child. They are not getting along. They've picked up where they left off from last season. Jennifer basically feels like Dolores was not a good friend to her. And I'm going to go ahead and ride with Jennifer on this one. Jennifer gets on my nerve. It just depends on what personality she walks in the door with, how I feel about her. But she ain't lying. Dolores, you've always done the flipped and the flopped. In my opinion, I've watched you for years. And you have been a floater, Dolores. And I don't like that. And if you were my friend, then be my friend. Don't flip and flop on me. So I think that's what Jennifer's talking about. And technically, I believe Jennifer has a right to feel the way she feels. Now, here's my thing with Jennifer. Girl, now you can be over the top. You should have went to acting school. Because now you can put on. Okay? You real extra. Almost intolerable. But Jennifer, at some point, you're going to have to speak your piece and move the hell on. You cannot continue to ride things out the entire season, even though we know that both of you have said some things about each other. You just got to get to a point where you speak your piece and you move on. Okay. That's it. I feel like Jennifer has this need to be liked and accepted. And when she isn't, she can be really, really harsh and become really mean and contrite. Yeah. Jennifer also got off to a bad start with the new girls. It was 3 of them. I don't know. It was the blonde, the dark-haired one, and the other lady with the medium length hair. Okay. They did not like you, Jennifer. They did not like your tone, your approach. But you know what? I'm with Jennifer because they try to put in their 2 cents, and Jennifer politely let them know, honey, stay in your place, hold your peace, because you just pulled up and you haven't been here long enough to speak. Now, if we shift to Jennifer and her husband, Bill, I'm looking at the dynamics, and I've been looking at the dynamics of this relationship since last season, maybe season before that. Jennifer, I think y'all are definitely having some marital problems. I don't know what's going on, but I see it, honey. I saw it last season. I've always thought, you know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do that. But anywho, I'm looking forward to the season. The premiere has got off to an excellent start. That's how you kick in the door, Real Housewives of New Jersey. And